2,000 years ago, the greatest economic artery in human history emerged from the east. We call it the Silk Road, a fractured network of trails stretching across the continent rather than a single paved highway. This sprawling circulatory system of dirt paths and mountain passes spanned thousands of kilometers, connecting the heart of China to the edges of Europe. For centuries, geography had kept these worlds isolated. Soon, caravans were hauling silver, gold, early forms of paper, and exotic spices across the continent. This profit incentive created the first intercontinental supply chain, proving that economic demand can override the planet's most dangerous geographic barriers. Moving high-value cargo across a void required specialized transport. Massive caravans of hundreds of camels became the heavy lifting engines of the ancient world. This wasn't a solo journey. The trade functioned as a relay race of survival, with goods changing hands between regional experts who knew their specific leg of the route. Each segment tested human endurance. Guides navigated sudden weather shifts and crossed unmapped terrain where a single equipment failure could be fatal. The human threat was just as constant. Because the routes snaked through vast, unpoliced territories, slow-moving caravans were vulnerable to organized bandits seeking high-value cargo. To counter these risks, specialized infrastructure emerged. Fortified outposts with stone arches and busy marketplaces allowed merchants to rest and secure their goods. By absorbing the physical dangers of the journey, these regional traders earned massive profits, transforming isolated desert wells into wealthy, interconnected hubs. As physical commodities moved, something far more durable piggybacked on the network. The trails became a superhighway for the exchange of abstract human thought. Travelers carrying religious texts walked alongside the silk merchants. Buddhist monks used these exact routes to carry their teachings from India into China, leaving these massive stone monuments as a permanent record. Practical technology also followed the same path. Breakthroughs in papermaking, in agricultural irrigation, and in metallurgy bled back and forth between the empires. By the 13th century, a massive geopolitical shift stabilized this entire system. The Mongol Empire expanded to control nearly the entire Eurasian landmass. Under one imperial authority, law was established across previously lawless territories. Banditry evaporated, and the routes became safer than they had been in centuries. This security triggered a commercial explosion. Direct contact between the East and West reached levels that had never been possible before. The silk and spices eventually became the secondary cargo. The network's true payload was the permanent integration of Eastern and Western thought. Yet the most successful trade network in antiquity eventually collapsed, not because of a war, but because of a technological shift. As empires mastered deep-water maritime trade, the ocean became an open highway that bypassed the land routes entirely. The shift was driven by basic logistics. A fleet of ships could carry significantly more bulk than a camel caravan. It was cheaper to operate, and it avoided the hazards of the desert. Without the transit revenue, the overland routes slowly withered. The busy marketplaces emptied out, and the paths were eventually reclaimed by the sand. But the physical road was only a temporary tool. Its primary job was already finished. The ancient world's isolation was over. These routes had spent a millennium blending disparate cultures and shifting the trajectory of human development. The merchants who built these trails established the ultimate bridge between hemispheres, creating the blueprint for the globalized world we inhabit today.